Hello everyone, my name is Clayton Taylor. Today I'm going to show you ideologies, political ideologies specifically. I'm going to define ideology for you, and I'm going to show you the 5 main types of ideologies that make up Western political thought. We'll do a little indulging into the thinkers behind the ideologies, as well as talk about some of the tenets that carry with them. And perhaps you'll come to understand where your own political beliefs come from, and what ideology you probably believe. So first, what's an ideology? Well, an ideology is a system of ideas and ideals, especially one that forms the basis of economic or political theory and policy. In other words, how do you want your society to operate? What is the role of the individual and the role of government in your society? So here's the ideological spectrum. Now here we can see liberalism is at the center of the ideological spectrum. The right of that being conservatism and fascism, the left, of course, being socialism and communism. So first let's look at liberalism. Liberalism is a complex ideology, and we'll understand that in a moment. But it's an ideology based on the principles of personal liberty and equality. Now, what is liberty? Well, here's where the complexity of liberalism comes in. It's a little hard to define, but we can definitely say that liberty is the power to act as a free-thinking individual equal to all others within a society. This is certainly the best working definition we have for liberty. Now down here we have a man by the name of John Locke. John Locke coined the term liberalism. He's seen as a classical liberal, and he emphasized the role of life, liberty, and property. These 3 are rights that are given to you by your God. So whichever God you happen to believe in, that particular deity bestowed with you these 3 rights. Life being that no one can kill you, and you also shouldn't kill yourself. That's an important thing to keep note of. And also property as well. Property is your personal belongings, your land, your computer, your phone, things that are yours. You paid money for them, and you paid money for it because you worked for that money. At least that's the assumption. And of course, liberty is that complex idea. Here's where the complexity comes within liberalism, because liberty is essentially freedom. But what does freedom mean? That's very hard to define, because freedom means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, many of whom all consider themselves liberals, but not all of them believe that liberty and freedom is the same, or the same exact thing. So next we're going to look at socialism and communism. All right. Now, this man right here is Karl Marx. This wonderful fellow, he coined the term socialism and communism. Socialism is is stage 1 of the 2-step process for the communist revolution that Marx coined within his Communist Manifesto. Stage number 1, of course, is to identify the inherent problems of capitalism and establish social programs to tear down social class and strive toward economic equality. Communism is stage 2, which is where the public takes ownership of all the means of production, they abolish private property, and the workers unite to make society prosperous. Now, the best way I can distinguish these 2 is that socialism still believes in private property, but they also believe in tempering capitalism with social welfare programs and regulating the economy so that personal liberty, hint there, is maintained. Well, not necessarily personal liberty, but certainly economic equality. Socialism strives for economic equality, but they do so without necessarily getting rid of capitalism. Communism abolishes capitalism and private property in its entirety and establishes equality through communal ownership of production and all of the value within the state. And then next, we have conservatism. Now, this gentleman here is Irish statesman Edmund Burke, and he coined the term conservatism as well as being the father of modern conservatism. And Edmund Burke believes that government should preserve the ancestral and immemorial tenets of society, avoid reckless progressivism, and resonate a strong conviction towards traditional values. This is interesting because Edmund Burke and conservatives believe that society should look towards the past, look towards those tenets of society that made that made government great, as well as made all individuals great as well. They believe that, the idea of the family, where it's the father, the mother, and the children, and not homosexual marriage and keeping within the institution of marriage as a sacred bond between a man and a woman. These are various tenets that make up a great society, according to conservatism, and to remove those tenets would be to undermine the greatness of society. Finally, we have fascism. Now, down here is Benito Mussolini. He coined the term fascism, and Mussolini believes that government should mobilize all individuals to act in the interest of strengthening the state, as well as dispel the myth of social class and individual liberty and dictate conformity. Individuals within a fascist state should not have the same liberties that people in a liberal society or for that matter, a conservative society have. Conservatives still believe that you should have certain rights like property, that you have the ability to move up in society and to better yourself economically. But fascists don't believe that. They don't believe that you better yourself economically. Whatever talents that you have, you should use that for the betterment of the state itself, not for your own individual success. That's where there's a difference between conservatism and fascism. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been a tutorial on ideologies. For more information, please feel free to message me. Sources will be in the description below, and have a good day.